I'm on a field trip today. Hi, I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings, and today we are at Walter's Gardens, the home of proven winner perennials, and there's so many fantastic perennials that are in bloom right now. So we're gonna go ahead and walk through all of these beautiful gardens and just show you some of the beautiful blooms today. I am just loving this part of the garden right now with all of these beautiful shades of pinks and yellows and so much gorgeous foliage color going on right now. Here up in the front we have a salvia called the Fuchsia is Bright, and I should say I'm going to be just showing you the plants, talking about them. If you want more details as far as total heights or zone information, you can go to our website gardencrossings.com to get all of the details. So like I mentioned, here we have this beautiful salvia. The pollinators are just loving it. Right now there's a busy bee going around, and I love how it's really popping here in the garden. In the background, I'm going to go ahead and show you that yellow Baptisia. That is the Baptisia Golden Anniversary. Beautiful yellow foliage, and it's just starting to merge with some deep dark purple blooms. Really pops in this garden bed. Amsonia String Theory is just starting to put on its spring show as well, with its beautiful periwinkle blooms, really thin needle-like foliage. This plant not only puts on a beautiful spring show of color, it also really lights up the garden in the fall with fantastic fall foliage. Making our way down the garden bed, in the background there we've got the beautiful lemon meringue Baptisia, or false indigo. I love how it's just a nice back of the border plant. It's about 3.5 foot tall or so, with those gorgeous yellow spikes of color. It too is just starting to put on its blooms, so it's going to just yellow up even more as we continue through the next few weeks or so. Here is a new plant variety that I am unfamiliar with, but is something I'm sure is coming in the future, called Penstemon Golden Gala. This is a gorgeous chartreuse color penstemon, and I love how it is just really making an appearance here in this garden bed. It looks so complementary with that Baptisia in the background. It's just such a striking look here in this garden. Gorgeous Heuchera as well. This is cherry truffles with its beautiful cherry red foliage, heavily ruffled foliage edges. Gorgeous and just popping on this beautiful day today. The Paint the Town Fuchsia are also just starting to put on their late spring show of color. This is magenta, and I love how it's just such a low growing ground cover Dianthus, very fragrant. As I stand here right now, I'm getting scents of, I think they smell like cinnamon. And the thing I like about this too is it blooms all summer long. Obviously its spring bloom is the most prolific, but as the season goes on, it continues to just put on little sprinkles of color for the borders of the garden bed. Salvia Violet Profusion is also finding its time to shine here in the gardens with its deep purple flower spikes. This is another one that the pollinators just really love to hang out and enjoy. Look at here, just busy at it today. I personally really love the large flowers on the Salvia Pink Dawn with their beautiful bubblegum pink blooms. Another plant the pollinators are hanging out and enjoying right now. I love salvia too because they're repeat blooming. So if they bloom, early on in the season like we're seeing now, if you give them a light trim, and they'll be back to blooming again in no time, giving longevity to color in the garden. In the background there we have the Baptisia Sparkling Sapphires, which is just a really deep dark purple, and this one's just starting to bloom. Look at all those gorgeous spikes. Baptisia also make a nice cut flower, so if you're looking to do arrangements or such, the nice long flower spikes make an excellent thriller in cut flower production. Here's a great place to stop and show you the difference between two of the proven winner Nepeta. So the first one we're looking at here is the Nepeta Cat's Meow. You can see the flowers are just a little bit lighter in color. The plant is a little bit taller and a little bit wider than the one next to it here, which is the Nepeta Cat's Pajamas. Cat's Pajamas is definitely a low growing mounding habit, a much more denseness I think to the flowers, and in my opinion it really is putting on a better flower color show than the Cat's Meow. Now it kind of depends on what size plant are you looking for your garden as to which you may choose. One of 4 in the Profusion series of salvia is the Salvia White Profusion. I love planting white in the garden because it's just So spectacular, especially in the evening when it starts to get dark out a little bit. I love how white just glows in the dark. Again, being a salvia, this is one of those plants that once it's done blooming, you give it a light trim and it's right back at to blooming within just a couple weeks, showing off its beautiful spiky blooms. Here's a beautiful pairing of color. We have the violet Riot salvia in the front, and then we've got the Geum totally tangerine in the back. Geum is a long blooming drought tolerant perennial, and it's just so airy and fun. A perfect plant to kind of just tuck into little spaces within the garden. Chartreuse on the loose Nepeta is showing off gorgeous with its beautiful chartreuse green foliage that really pops in the garden no matter if it's in bloom or not. And you can see how it is just loaded with this beautiful purple flowers right now. As the name implies, Chartreuse on the loose is more of a spreading type Nepeta, as you're seeing here in this landscape, but nonetheless very gorgeous. And if you have a nice spot for it where you can plant a plant that does roam a little bit, it stays in its main plant. It continues to get wider and wider with every season. Paired next to it is another one of the Amsonia string theory. A great pairing, I think. Nice texture together there. And again, those beautiful periwinkle blooms. I don't think I can show you enough of all of these beautiful plants that are blooming in this garden today. Salvia with its bicolor blooms, the purple and the white. Such a striking look. That is what I love about the salvia. I mean, everywhere we look in this garden, it is in gorgeous bloom right now. And this is something we can expect to see throughout the summer as we continue to visit the gardens here at Walters, is that these salvia will be putting on some sort of show no matter where we are in the season. Stand by me clematis is a non-clinging clematis. So you'll see how they have them in these gorgeous little obelisks. They're about 3.5 foot tall or so, and it's just the perfect size for Stand by me. This plant is one that blooms pretty much throughout the summer. Usually starts in June or so. We still usually see some flowers in July, but just gorgeous blue blooms, kind of a non-traditional looking clematis because it's non-clinging. So that's where we do recommend planting it in a trellis or having a obelisk, or even planting perennials on either side of it that will just kind of help it stand. I love this space in the garden. This is what they call their moon garden, and it has several flowers that bloom with either silver or white, and then they tuck a few black things in here just to kind of accent those whites. We've got the Artemisia here in the front, the silver lining, which is a great silvery foliage plant that really puts on a show just all summer long because of its foliage. There's a few white salvia blooming in here as well. And then in the background, you're seeing all those big puffball cloud-looking plants of white. That is the Thalictrum. This is the first time I've ever seen this one in the garden and blooming. And I love the airy presence it has. It just dances here in the breeze. And then some of the black plants they have, these are shrubs. So we've got the elderberry black lace. We've also, looks like we've got a white quince that's blooming, kind of tucked in there behind the elderberry. So just a great use of white and dark, or white flowers, dark foliage to create just a beautiful pop in this garden. And as I mentioned, this garden transforms every month when the next white flowering plant shows up. It's so gorgeous and really puts on a show. I know I've talked about, how I plant sun pations in my garden, the white ones, because I love how they just glow in the night. And here's a way you can do it with perennials, just cycling through with the various tones of white, depending on the varieties that are used. I just love doing these garden tours for you. I mean, obviously you can't all get out and see these beautiful gardens. So if I can take you out to the garden and just show you what's blooming, I think it helps you to make a better educated guess on what may work in your garden. And if there's anything here that you're like, I just gotta have it in my garden, you can head to our website, gardencrossings.com, where you can not only purchase the plants and have them shipped to your door, or you can just get more information on those plants. Thanks for watching. I'm Heidi from Garden Crossings.